I'm supporting Bernie because he is the one for the future of America. Free education, free health care, infrastructure, and jobs for Americans. No war, just jobs for Americans. That's it.
Get more pins.
We'll talk about donations to take home one of our demos here with us. Through the street, King's on the vibes. I saw a sexy voodoo mama. She said, baby, what's your name? Said, my name is Eddie.
I didn't know I had to go for this. And I had my vaporizer and.
Well, I'm sick and tired of politics as usual. I'm sick and tired of big money in politics. This is absolutely. I used to work in banking for 25 years, and I watched all the banks buy them up, and now they're too big to fail. And the money in politics is disgusting, and it's not a democratic society as it is. The corporations run it, and I'm sick and tired of it. And Bernie's the only one telling the truth, and I support him 100%.
You have the camera on?
What's that?
You have the camera on?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. So you can put the camera right here.
What's that?
Put the camera right here.
The rest of the week.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. This is good.
Anything else? Thank you. You're all set. Sir, you're all set. Sir, step forward. Comes out. Snap in. How are you? Turn around, please. Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Thank you.
All these people have his age.
And I've come here to see Bernie today. I wanted to go and follow him all around the country, but that's not always possible. And fortunately, I live close to here, so I was able to come today. Grateful. And Bernie, yes, little by little, our country's been slipping off in a direction that is good for individuals, but not necessarily good for the overall society. And Bernie's the person to push it back to another place where it belongs, a place we've enjoyed in the past. At my age, I remember better days. After World War II, and the economy was going up, and there was employment, and we had adequate social services, at least moving in that direction. And little by little, those have been slipping away. We need a person to push it back, and I think Bernie's the guy.
it. That's it.
You win it.
Bernie
like
Sanders tattoos.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Feel the burn.
I support Bernie is because he's a warrior for civil and human rights, and he represents all minorities. He represents every demographic. There isn't anyone from a demographic that doesn't like him. He sticks up for people who aren't voiced, and he sticks up for the marginalized and underrepresented people, and it's very important for him that equality is given to everyone, and so that's one of the reasons I support Bernie.
Why do I support Bernie Sanders? There's quite a few reasons, I'd say, kind of on the spot. Let's see. Well, I like what he's doing with education. For one, I just came out of college and I am up to my neck in student loan debt, which totally sucks, but I'm still working through it, and I work as a substitute teacher. So I really want to see a lot of education reform too. With Common Core, there's some good stuff, but still like having over 30 kids to one teacher is utterly ridiculous. I think like just experiencing it on a regular basis, it's doable, but especially you have a lot of students with different disabilities and they don't get the attention they need. You know, we have other side teachers and programs, special ed programs, stuff like that, but I still feel like there's not enough. Especially, I don't know, maybe just growing up I didn't see it as much or realize it as like a younger kid, but being in the field now, it seems like, I don't know if there's more or if it's just you didn't notice it before, but it is something that I think we really need to deal with. And I know he really cares about education. He listens to the opinions of teachers and people that work in the field instead of just creating policy out of thin air like George Bush with the No Kid Left Behind program, which is terrible. My mom's a teacher, totally backshot in a lot of districts. So yeah, I mean, education's a big one. So yeah, those are just a few of the reasons that come straight to mind why I'm more invested in the Bernie Sanders campaign than anyone. And the honesty, I mean, he's not taking money from these big corporations, which I think if you don't take corporate influence out, then all these little things I talk about aren't going to change, even under Hillary, because she's taking money from lobbyists for all kinds of stuff, and it's really a big picture thing and a bigger movement, I think, and so I support the movement 100%.
There's just really no other option at this point. I'm a daughter of an immigrant, so I can't be supporting Hillary because of all her record, and of course I can't support any Republican. And my daughter wants to be a biologist, so she's into climate change and marine biology, so I'm here with her for that.
I came to see Bernie because I absolutely love him and I support his candidacy, and my views are completely aligned with his views and his vision of our future, and I think that we need him like the earth needs the sun. And I'm also a delegate in my district, in District 25, California. So I'm going to Philadelphia this July to fight for Bernie and to fight for you and to fight for our future generations. And I'm really excited. Feel the burn.
Well, I don't know about Bernie. It's like he's the Trump alternative. So
what do you mean he's the Trump alternative?
I think he's been independent. It's like he's been trying to selling that the entire communist thing. Meanwhile, 7 years ago, it was like we just don't want to go over that communist thing. Now it's like open season. So it's
what about it is communist?
Well, it's socialist. Socialist. It's kind of
two separate things.
Well, you can I wouldn't call them separate. I mean, they're two things that you have kind of a similar. The connotations are similar. I mean, if you come back and think about what it implies is that you have a platform. You have a very simple platform, right? As does Trump. Two very simple platforms. And the goal, of course, is to have is to get through in a simple platform.
Can you explain to me Bernie's platform? If it's so simple.
Can I explain it to you?
Yes.
What you understand about it?
Yeah.
What I understand, well, what do we have? Pay for college, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
He talks about paying for college. He talks about,
Do you know how he plans to pay for college?
He talks about raising the minimum wage, right? He talks about, he talks about the status of, he talks about, long work hours. These are things, these are things that are kind of like, to the point, they're to the point, but like, I don't know, I think everyone's going to be sold on it, for me, it's a difficult thing to accept. I mean, I came around to him, and then now I'm thinking.
I'm supporting Bernie Sanders today because supporting anyone else is madness. I don't know. It's just Hillary is backed by corporate greed, and I think that this nation doesn't need that anymore. Also, Trump sucks. There's really no other way to say that. Just Trump is terrible. Don't ever. If you're voting for Trump, go home.
Well, I support Bernie as a student. I wouldn't like debt, of course not. School is expensive, especially when you're working, you've got bills to pay. And I support him as a welder. We need unions, man. I can't be welding on top of a skyrise, fall down, and then have a company tell my family, oh, that's your problem, dude. There's lots of reasons to support this guy, As a worker, as a student, Coming from the lower class as a first-generation American, I haven't had many opportunities that the kids in Laguna Beach have. So it would be nice to have social programs that help me, go forward in my future and make a career for myself. And once I'm there, of course, I'm going to be glad to give tax money to help the people that put me there. For the kids of the fucking parents that, I'm sorry, cuss. You should probably cut that out. I'll gladly give back to the children of the parents who helped support me, with their tax money. I wouldn't mind paying higher taxes if it means it goes to the right resources. And that's why I'm here supporting Bernie.
I like Bernie's message, and I believe in his message. And we have pizza.
Yeah, pizza. We had to ask. First we had to talk to the police, then we had to talk to TSA, then we had to talk to Secret Service, and they're all taking a vote. I guess it's okay. So, we came with 4 pizzas, but now we only have 3. To had to take one for just to make sure it's real pizza. But heck yeah, Bernie 2016. Woo! Let's go.
Feel the burn.
We're all, except for my husband, big Bernie supporters, and we brought my grandkids, and we're so happy to be here supporting him. We love him. We think he deserves the nomination, and even if he doesn't get the nomination, we think he deserves our support, all of our support. We're gonna make a difference in this country. Love you, Bernie.
And I support Bernie Sanders because he supports me. I appreciate everything he does for every one of us, and he stands for all of us. Everything I ever fight for, Bernie Sanders has on his mind. So thank you, Bernie.
All right, we're here to support Bernie because it's not politics as usual. We believe that he's anti-fracking. We believe he's in racial and feminist equality. And we know that he's not going to take any money from any corrupt people or influences, and he's going to do the right thing. It's strange to find myself supporting a 74-year-old man who's Jewish, who you think, just optics-wise, he'd be absolutely the wrong guy to be voting for, but yet in his heart and his soul, he's a hippie and he's a man of the people, and I love that about him.
I'm here because I'm supporting Bernie Sanders to be our next president of the United States. And most of my background, my mom, my dad, they came here when I wasn't even born actually. They came here with 4 of my brothers, and pretty much I don't want them to leave this country. I want them to stay here alongside me. I want to see their children's children grow up in this beautiful country that we're in. And he has a lot of policies that I'm interested about.
We're here to support Bernie Sanders, and we just don't like anybody else. He's great. I love his platform and what he stands for. The
education,
the free tuition for.
We gotta send these guys to college.
Yes, absolutely. So, go Bernie. Feel the burn.
I've learned about Bernie for 3 months only, and I liked his ideas. And when I started doing my research, I understood that he's the only person who cares about working families, who really cares. It's not about elections, it's not about getting one more vote or whatever. It's about being honest, trustworthy person who has been fighting for working families for his entire life. And that's why I support him, and I do my best to let people know about this.
I had never been part of politics, really. I followed the last election a little bit, but until this year, my mom actually brought me in on some of what Bernie was doing, and slowly but surely I went to the last rally in Carson, and that was the end-all be-all of my support. I blew up, started bleeding Bernie, just seeing how much love there was and how the people are so amazing. Obviously for our environment, just like our livelihood.
Humanity.
Humanity in the world. Bernie's giving us hope for that, a future.
Frankly, he's the only really option.
Yeah.
I don't see a choice in the matter. Like,
unfortunately.
Like we have, I don't know, it's a battleground at hand when it comes to humanity versus unbridled capitalism, and it's destroying our world. I think we have to preserve what's left of being human. And that's the tribal and community mindset first and foremost, and we have to bring each other forward together. It's not a.
And politically, it feels like we've always been just like left with something, and that's the idea we're supposed to follow. And finally, we're having somebody give us a voice that maybe these young people want something different than what's been handed to us. And he's allowing us to move with that, and bring us all together and give us a very large voice in the matter. And how could you not support that?
How important is it that we share our story with people who don't know about it?
Extremely important. Word of mouth is everything.
Yeah.
And that connection you make,
That's all I've been doing.
We both actually work at the same place. We work at Starbucks, which might be a contradiction.
We're trying to get by here.
Frankly speaking, if I may defend my stance, I think Starbucks is really, at least in my part of town, I live in suburbia, and that's all we have in terms of community, So we do little things in influencing the world around us, and for us, it's the customers that come in, and sharing in a small way our political stance too by how we treat them and the love we spread. So that all carries over into this movement, it's the same. So.
Okay, I voted for Hillary.
Can you tell us why?
Yeah. First of all, I think when the Republicans get their slime against Bernie going, he's not going to know what hit him, and he's going to get beaten. Hillary, it's like, how much more can you come up with to slime Hillary than they already have? Combined with the fact that the Clintons can handle this shit. I will add, though, if for some strange reason Bernie is the nominee, I will vote for him in the general election. And I'm okay with Bernie people as long as they're not Bernie or bust, because Bernie or bust is just going to help Trump become president.
Don't you think that at this point there are so many Bernie or bust people that the people that are hanging on to Hillary are the problem?
No. Because first of all, the rules were there for a long time. Obama was an outsider. He bothered to learn how to deal with the rules.
Bernie's actually been an insider longer than Hillary has. Bernie's been in office much longer.
I know all about Bernie, but I know about Bernie when he was in the House.
But in all the years that Bernie's been in office, he hasn't. There is no slime to throw against him like there is to throw against Hillary.
No, they'll start. I'll tell you the ad they start running, and there's enough people that'll believe it. Bernie Sanders says he's a socialist. Well, let's see what socialism is like.
He's not a socialist, he's a socialist Democrat.
I know, I'm not saying that these are true, I'm just saying what they're going to do, and there's enough idiots in this country that'll fall for it.
And we're here because the energy drew us here. The reason why I support Bernie Sanders is because he's not for sale. And I think he's going to reverse Citizens United, and I think that's a really huge, important thing right now. I think Hillary Clinton, I feel like she's no longer progressive, so she doesn't speak to me. I feel like it's the same old. I think the key thing right now that Bernie talks about is oligarchy, and that's what we have right now. There's too few people that are ruling the world, and I think with Bernie, he's the answer. And even if, forget about the fact that he could probably have a better challenge or a better chance of winning against Trump, even if the numbers don't look good, you need to vote your conscience. Don't vote like it's not Las Vegas, like, well, I have to hedge because maybe he doesn't win, maybe he doesn't. This is your one time to make a difference. So if things are a disaster 10 years from now, I'm going to say, I didn't vote for this asshole, I voted for Bernie Sanders. So it's still meaningful in the universe. That's what I'm saying.
I'm voting for Bernie because I believe that everything that's, I don't want to say wrong, but that can be changed is regarding corporations, the way our government is, that's the way to change the government, and he's willing to do that. That's the first step.
And I'm voting for Bernie Sanders because I believe he's a candidate that has never, by history has never went back on his ideals that he's always represented. As far as, for gay rights, I love the fact that he always was it from day one. He never had to switch his views like other candidates, like Hillary Clinton and other candidates. And I'm just here because of the positive energy that he brings to the political climate, and I'm all for the changes that he brings. As far as that, I love the fact he just has a broad platform that's been straightforward since he was a senator, since he was in the House.
Okay, I've been volunteering for Bernie all over the country. I volunteered for Bernie starting in California, then Nevada, then Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and New York. So I've been volunteering for Bernie all over the country. I love Bernie Sanders, and the reasons are lots of different reasons. First of all, he voted against the war in Iraq. Hillary voted for the war. If Hillary's elected president, she'll get us deeper into the Middle East. Bernie will not do that. Bernie is for national health insurance. He's for Medicare for all system. Hillary is for Obamacare, and we need national health insurance in our country. That will save us lots of money. I'm a psychologist, I can tell you that. Medicare will save us a lot of money compared to the present healthcare system, and will cover everybody in the country. I'm also for Bernie because he's for free tuition in public colleges and universities for our young people. We need that. I'm for Bernie because he wants to tax the rich. He wants to close that loophole where somebody who makes $112,000 a year pays the same amount of Social Security tax as someone who makes $100 million a year. So Bernie is for the 99%. Hillary is for the 1%. Hillary is for Wall Street. 70% of Wall Street money has gone to Hillary. That's who Wall Street wants, Hillary. Bernie is for the people. We need a revolution. We need a political revolution in this country. We need transformation in our country and in the world. Bernie will create peace in this country and all over the world. Bernie will create peace in the Middle East, whereas Hillary will not. Hillary is very strongly pro-Israel. Bernie is for an even-handed approach. Even though Bernie is Jewish, he's for an even-handed approach in the Middle East. He will help create peace in the Middle East. Hillary will not. Hillary will get us into another war in the Middle East.
Having the last 5 years of my life, I've spent living abroad, and if I could pick a candidate, it would simply be this. Any candidate that you could go back 5 decades, and a person who was fighting for civil rights, physically chaining himself to a human being to support a message. I do not care how much of a PR campaign you got. You want fucking good funding, you go to Laos, you go to Turkmenistan, but you can go back 5 decades and you can find this human being at least standing up for what is right. And in an unjust war against bombing Palestinians and destroying what is the country of Yemen, all for the sale of dollars? I think it's silly. Now granted, everything the man says might not be completely achievable, but when you're up against a bunch of morons, and Trump, that's like talking about my shoe. But I do think that someone who's willing to say messages that actually resonate with people, and if you speak for human rights and human values, you know what? It doesn't matter if he doesn't win this campaign. He's coming back twice as strong as a senator, and for that reason we're here. And keep pushing it left, because it worked in Iran, it worked in Guatemala until our bullshit government got involved and overthrew those countries because it didn't fit our ideals and it didn't make money. So we're here for Bernie, and we'll keep being here for Bernie.
I just want a voice for the marginalized groups in the United States, and I feel that someone who's more left-wing may be that voice for these marginalized groups of people, because it's no lie that there's marginalized groups of people in the United States that happen to be minorities, and I feel like it's a time for them to rise up if they're given the opportunity to do so.
I actually grew up around here, and I think my biggest thing is that I went to law school, and I went to law school in downtown LA, Loyola Law School. And at my law school, there was probably 15 Hispanic kids, if that. And across the street is an elementary school where there's probably about 70% Hispanic kids. And there's such a wide disparity between not even graduating high school and then going to college and then going on and having that ability to have social mobility is the ability to have a good education. And I think when you're paying $40,000 a year to go to UC education is something that is completely unachievable and is completely undemocratic. And I personally believe that Bernie, slightly to some extent Hillary, but I think Bernie more so understands the fact that education is the biggest thing that can get us back to having a stronger middle class. And for me personally, education has been the thing that has allowed me to put myself in a better position to help my family. And I think personally Bernie embodies that. I'm still okay. For sure, there's no way a Republican understands that at all. It goes completely contrary to our democratic principles. And I think a vote for Bernie is a vote for change and a vote for something that is more democratic than something we've had in a long, long time.
Who are you going to vote for? The establishment media says, well, we don't know if Bernie Sanders is with African Americans. We don't know if he's with women. Well, let me tell you something. 50 years ago, when Bernie Sanders chained himself to an African American woman, to fight segregation, I was pretty sure he was with African American women. Bernie! When they came to drag her away, and he said, if you're gonna chain her, you're gonna chain me. Yeah! You're gonna arrest me. And that wasn't about power. That was about fighting for principles, which he's been doing for the last 50 years. Tell me, who's going to be the next president of the United States of America?
This is a fantastic turnout, and I appreciate everybody being here this evening. Let me begin by thanking Jordan Barbo, Guerra Loco. I didn't get that right? Guerra Loco. All right. Ruma Willis and Jane Fugger of the Young Turks. I am the only candidate for president who will tell you a harsh truth. And that truth is, given the nature of American economics and politics today, no president can do it alone. We need a political revolution. I believe that we need to impose a tax on Wall Street speculation. Which will bring in more than enough money to make public colleges and universities tuition-free and lower substantially student debt.
What I love about Bernie, first of all, he's a Jewish, and he's creating peace and harmony between all the nations. this is just amazing. A Jewish guy comes out and says, you know what, we need to make peace with Iran, with Middle East, and Palestine. So I love you, Bernie. I adore you. My God, I love you for what you believe in. Fantastic, Bernie! God bless you!